Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the John Went Walking channel on a beautiful Saturday morning in the second week of December. I got out of the car. It was about 47 degrees out here this morning. Just a gorgeous morning, perfect for going for a walk, getting a few miles in out here on the Florida Trail. I just came through Salt Springs, about a half an hour up the road, north on 19 up there, and stopped at the Salt Springs food store and got myself a sausage and egg with butter and jelly on toast, and man, that thing was good. Had a nice cup of coffee, sat there, waited for the daylight to come, and now I'm able to get out and explore. And I started the video back there at 427.7. If you're checking the Far Out app, it's 427.7. And I wanted to walk out to Summit Pond and see how it's looking out there. It's been so dry here in Central Florida. I'm wondering if it's even there. It does show it on the Far Out app. It is the Summit Pond, but we'll see. I'm heading out there right now and bringing you with me on this just absolutely perfect morning to be out here exploring. Drove down from Jacksonville early this morning, heading back towards the Tampa area, and get out of the car every hour and a half or so and try to stretch my legs, and man, what a perfect place to do it. And you can see again, you know, I've never been out here, so I'm not familiar with this section of the Florida Trail, but you can see how incredibly well groomed it is. And it's been this way all over the state. You know, I think I've posted videos now from down at Westgate Village, down maybe around in the 230s, all the way up into recently up in the Big Bend area, up over the 700 mile marker. And there are a lot of the Florida Trail runs on roads and Jeep trails, stuff like that. But anywhere that I've been on the Florida Trail that's in a woodsy section like this is back in the kind of the forested section, the woodsy section, it is always incredibly well maintained and well marked. I mean, I don't think I've been anywhere that I would feel uncomfortable hiking in the dark at night in the woods. Like, it's that well marked and that well maintained. You could just absolutely roll right through it, especially you know, with the shorter daylight hours in the wintertime. It really wouldn't matter. You'd be able to get in an extra hour in the morning, an extra hour at night with no problem. Even if you were out here in the woods, it would be very doable. And I tell you, I started making these videos a little over a year ago, November of 24, and I have just enjoyed immensely the opportunity to explore the state of Florida like this. I lived in Florida for a long time, back in the 90s, for probably about 5 or 6 years, and now I've been here in Florida full time since 2010, so about 15-16 years now. And I tell you, the time that I've spent in the past 13 months on the Florida Trail, it's just been the best part of my Florida experience. You know, people from up north, out of state, they think Disney World, they think Daytona, they think Miami Beach, they think Key West. But I tell you what, if you want to see the real Florida, make yourself plans to come down and explore the trail, because this is really, you know, what the part of living in Florida, this is the part of it that I've enjoyed the most. When I look back over the years, I'm 64 years old right now. I'm turning 65 in 2026. Hopefully that'll be my final year of work. I already retired once from the military and getting close to being ready to retire again. I'm getting everything set up, making plans, you know, making sure my family's taken care of, all that kind of stuff. But the time's going to come when I will be ready to drop out of the workforce and get right back here, out here to where I feel like I belong, and that's going to be the through hike attempt on the Florida Trail. And I expect it to take 3.5 months, and I hope by the time I start it, I hope that I've already explored most of it on foot and filmed it, and I'm familiar with the entire area, or the majority of the area. I might not get through the entire state. I might run out of time and not have time to explore the whole area like I'm doing now, but that's okay. This Far Out app, I've absolutely fallen in love with it, and I always know where I am, and that's an incredible benefit. I think back to all those years I spent in the woods, like back when I was doing trail running and the ultra running and overnight running, and half the time I would be lost and have no idea where I was, or I know I couldn't be too far off course, but still, if you get lost, you get disoriented. So now we're coming up to where, and that's not the case anymore with Far Out app, you know where you are, which is an incredible blessing. Now we're coming up on, yeah, this is a Summit Pond area. I'm going to flip the camera over here to Summit Pond once we get down here where you can see it a little bit better. It's going to be out in the background behind these trees in that grass, and I tell you, I see absolutely no water at all. On the Far Out app it says Summit Pond, but I have a hunch that the pond is, from the drought that we've had here and the just absolute complete lack of rain, that the pond may be dried up for a little while until we get back to rainy season. So I'm going to, you can see it out through here. I'm gonna find a spot to go down, and then we'll walk down and take a closer look at it together. You can see out through there. I mean, it might be, there could be some marsh out there, but I don't know. That's on the Far Out app, you'll see Summit Pond, but it doesn't appear to have any moisture. I'm sure if I went out there and traipsed around, there'd be some mud and stuff, but I want to walk, let me see, find a nice spot to walk down where I can kind of get you a clear overview, a clear shot. Make my way up here just a little bit more. It's getting a little bit more open down here. Let's see. Can you believe these woods? Look at this. Every place I go, I just continue to be amazed by how beautiful everything is out here. And I'm just so incredibly grateful to have the opportunity to come out here and explore it. Okay, yeah, I think there's gonna be a spot down here. I can kind of see an opening heading down that way. Oh, we got a good sized tree down right here. Yeah, we'll get through here. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good size little tree came down. And I get a little bit further down here. Yeah, it's definitely gonna open up down here. Definitely gonna open up. I'm gonna be able to take you out there and get a nice big picture of it, big picture view before we cut the camera. Wow, here's another good size tree that's down. You know, we've had a lot of hurricane damage. I've seen it throughout the state, and it's no different right here where I'm at. Look at this. Yeah, that's a good sized tree that came down. We're going to squeeze right under it, and then I think I'll be able to get down to where the Summit Pond was supposed to be. We're gonna go a little bit south here off the Florida Trail and walk down and see if we can get a good look at it before I cut the film here. Yeah, look at this. It is definitely dried up. I mean, it says Summit Pond on the Far Out app. I guess there's normally a pond here, but there's sure no pond here this morning. It is gone. The drought has taken it. Of course, it'll be back, friends. You know, there's no worry about that. But here you get a nice view of it. Yep, this is, what a gorgeous morning. Okay, this is Summit Pond on the Far Out app. What a gorgeous morning. A pond of grass. Yes, sir. All right, friends, what a beautiful morning. I'm so glad you're out here with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I've enjoyed making this one. It's John went walking, coming to you from Summit Pond. I'm probably up at about this is probably about mile 428 on the Far Out app on the Florida Trail. I hope you all have just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. I'm going to get in a few more miles, and then I'm going to point the car further, or point it further south. Goodbye, friends. Have a great day.